Hello, my friends here on YouTube. We are live. Christopher Maloney here with Practice Warriors. Thank you so much for checking out this live video. Friday Live is what we're calling these things. And as you may or may not know, what we are doing is a deeper dive on the previous Monday's Music Motivating Monday videos. Oh, yeah. So I do a little 3-minute Music Motivating Monday on Mondays. And then I spend a week thinking about it. How can I really get into the weeds on this topic? I think of nothing else. I sit in a dark room formulating my plan. And then I go live to you on Fridays to share with you the soft underbelly of the concept. Actually, none of that is true. I kind of spend my week having fun. And then I come on here and go, oh, shoot, I got to talk about Music Motivating Monday. And then I just start riffing, which is what I'm doing right now. No, I'm just kidding. If you did not watch Monday's Music Motivating Monday video, it was called Replacing the Word Practice. And this seems like an odd thing for a guy who created something called Practice Warriors to try to, talk about, right? Let's get rid of the word practice. But it's exactly what I'm talking about. I wish that we could never use that word again, because that word has power, like most language. And I think that for most people, it has a deep negative connotation to it, right? And I'm going to get into that in a moment. I'm going to do a deep dive. But I just want to say again, thank you for the folks who are signing on and logging on right now. It's great to see you. If you're watching this on a replay, thank you for checking it out. If you're watching this live right now, I do want to make an offer to you that at the end of the video, you get a chance to get 3 free practice tools. I do this, a lot of time on these Friday Live videos. And I put a link right there in the comments for the 3 free bonus items, and I'll discuss those at the end of the video. I also want to let you know this is a very rare thing. I'm not promoting this on the Practice Warriors website, practicewarriors.com. I'm only promoting this to subscribers of our newsletter, members of Practice Warriors, the folks who are part of our membership program, and you guys who are watching this live. Until midnight tonight, I am accepting some new private coaching students, new private lessons. And I put the link in the comments as well. You cannot find this anywhere online. I'm not doing this as a general thing. I'm just doing it for folks who are, who've kind of proven that they're into practicing because they're watching Practice Warrior type of stuff. You guys are the ones I want to work with. I want to work with people who have this burning desire to get better, but maybe are a little bit adrift in the method, or, really, really want to improve their skills, but maybe don't have the right strategies to get them over a hill, or the right motivation. I don't like to use the word motivation. I like to use the word drive, because inspiration and motivation don't work when you're trying to do something where you're really extending yourself and challenging yourself. You have to truly be driven to practice. And so I like to do that. A lot of people have not found what drives them to practice. I can help you do that. I can help you do that with just the Practice Warrior membership and having you check out our masterclass. But if you want to go deeper, you have until midnight tonight to sign up for private lessons. And maybe I'll extend it if you're watching the replay, but probably not. Do it now. All right? And a little background information about me. I was a session musician in Los Angeles for almost 20 years. I've performed with people like Dweezil Zappa, Lisa Loeb, members of Journey, Earth, Wind & Fire, Savage Garden, In Excess, Porcupine Tree, New Kids on the Block, UFO, Enough's Enough, Special Effects, and the list is endless. I played with a lot of cool people. I've toured all over the world, made dozens of albums, my own solo recordings. Uh, as an educator, I've taught at the world renowned Musicians Institute in Los Angeles, California. Many of my students have gone on to play with Rihanna, Jay-Z, Lady Gaga, 30 Seconds to Mars, Liz Phair, A Perfect Circle, Sarah Bareilles, tons and tons of people. And I also own my own music school where I taught people from 4 to 84 years old. And boy, was that an education, because at that point, I had really only taught, semi pro, almost pro musicians, and seeing the way the general public and, hobbyists and amateur musicians, the struggles that they faced, a lot of them were the same as the top students. But a lot of it, what I saw was psychological, the psychological challenges that people have with learning. And that's going to be what I talked to you about today. All right. So, yeah. So there's my bona fides. You can read all about it at practicewarriors.com/about. You can learn all about me. Right. What else do I want to talk about? Oh, well, I'll talk about Practice Warriors and the experience of all that and the benefits that you guys can have with a free trial. I got a free trial offer for you. So, but I'll talk about that later. Let's get right to it. So, as I was talking about, there was a lot of things in working with amateur hobbyists, people who wanted to learn music, but they weren't going to take it to a professional level, or like moving to LA, New York, Nashville, that kind of thing. Um, one of the things that I really, really noticed was people's inability to have a belief in themselves and a belief in the learning process. Now, I'm a very chipper guy. I'm very, hey, how you doing? Hey, hey. And so I get people excited naturally. My enthusiasm is infectious, I've been told. I guess I'm an infectious thing. That's weird. But there's only so much I can do, in the private lessons and all that. I try to get people excited, but then people leave the lesson rooms and they go home to practice and they bring those self doubts. They bring the doubts about themselves, about their ability to learn, and even negative associations with the learning process in general. Maybe they had trouble studying at school. Maybe they had some stupid person go, "Oh, you're never going to be good at music." I don't know where people's baggage comes from, but I had seen it time and time again. No, you don't understand. I don't have talent. No, no, no. You make it look easy. I can't do that. All of this baggage. And the topic I'm talking about today, replacing the word practice, is a little trick, is a little psychological trick we can play on ourselves to get over the hump of sitting your butt in your practice room and working on your skills, right? Isn't that really one of the biggest challenges? Getting off the couch, putting down the phone, and getting into the room, right? If you work out, right? I use working out analogy a lot because working on forming your body or taking care of your body, it's the exact psychology as working on your musical skills, right? So you're sitting on your butt, you're eating your potato chips, you're drinking wine, and that's what I'm going to do after, by the way, this video. Now, so you're sitting on the couch, you're doing your thing, and you're like, I got to go to the gym, I got to go to the gym, I got to go to the gym. Well, as soon as you walk out the door to the gym, you're there, man. That's half the battle. Once you're in the gym, what are you going to do? Get in your car and drive home? Hey, you know what? I thought better of this. I'm just going to go back on the couch. No, you work out, you follow through. The hardest part is getting off the couch and getting out that door. As soon as you're out that door, you're in the car, you're on the bus, whatever, you're committed. And so the same thing applies with sitting in your practice space. The second you've got that instrument in your hand, you are committed. So the challenge is, how do you get from couch to your practice space? And you all have a practice space, right? That's one of the things we talk about in our Practice Warriors Masterclass that you can check out with a 14-day free trial. Salesmanship. And in fact, speaking of the masterclass, I spend the first 3 units. It's a 14-unit class. I spend the first 3 units talking about psychology. I basically try to have you unlearn the negative associations you've made with either the learning process, practicing your own ability to improve yourself or your skills, right? I spend the first unit talking about myths. We dispel what you think about practicing. The second unit is called Facing Your Fears. And that's basically where I make you write down all the negative associations you have, all the pain that you feel, even if you don't realize it. Once you do the exercises, you go, oh my gosh, I have all these terrible thoughts about practicing. No wonder I don't practice. And in the third unit called Changing Your Mind, we turn all of that around. Okay. So I'm not going to get into all of that because I don't know, those video lessons are like 20 minutes long. It'd be like an hour and a half thing. But I will give you one of these strategies. Let's replace the word practice. Let's get rid of it. And why? Let me say something to you, okay? I want you to practice today. You have to practice today. How does that make you feel? Right? I mean, even just saying it to you, I feel bad, right? Because it's like I'm giving you an extra duty. There's like an extra thing you have to do. It's an obligation, right? And obligations are cool, but I don't know if we go into obligations with a great mindset. I don't think we go, oh, I get to clean out the gutters today. Isn't that great? Oh, I get to sit down with my instrument and suck. I get to sit down with my instrument and work on stuff I'm not good at. I get to sit down with my instrument and feel bad about my playing, right? Which we all do when we practice, because if you're practicing right, you're working on things that are challenging. And then you get over it, and then you get good. And then you work on the next set of challenging things. And for a goofball like me, I've been doing this for almost 40 years, and at a high level for 30 years. I know deep in my gut that my effort will be rewarded. Effort equals reward. Practice will make me better. I know it because I've done it, right? But for most people, there's a disconnect between their belief system. They just don't have faith in the process because I don't know why it is. It's maybe because it takes a long time to develop certain skills. So there is that disconnect. So anything we can do to get you off the couch and into your practice chair, that's what we want to do. So if you say, I have to practice today, already all of the obligational negativity that you have about things you need to do in your day get put on music. It just gets transferred there. Oh, I have to pick up the kids. Oh, I have to go to work. Oh, I have to meet the. Oh, I have to practice. Right? So let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of the word practice and let's replace it with something that's a little more positive. So let's replace the word practice with the word play. Now, I have all sorts of memes that I put up on our social media stuff, Facebook, Instagram, all sorts of cool quotes from the masterclass, inspiring people to be their musical best and kind of kicking people's butts too. And one of the things I say is if you're playing and not practicing, you're not practicing. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about faking yourself out so that you're changing the language that you use because language is powerful. So if I go from saying, I have to practice today to I get to play today, now you know you're going to practice. But you just for that one moment, you switch that thing around. I have to practice. I get to play. And if you just keep saying that over and over, you will equate practicing with playing. You will equate practicing with fun. You will be joyful. You will look forward to it. You'll be like, oh man, I get to play today. And what will that psychology do? That psychology will get you to start to go, well, I want to make sure I get my playing in. So I better schedule it because I know how the day goes. I'm going to get busy. I'm going to get caught up. And then I'm going to go, well, I'm going to practice later or I'll play later. And you push it off and you push it off. And then the end of the day comes and you didn't play. You didn't even sit down with your instrument. And then that compounds. Days turn into weeks, to months. Next thing you know, you're like, oh, I used to play guitar 5 years ago, but yeah, I quit. And let me tell you something. I've met people all over the world. I have toured the globe. And we would do a lot of meet and greets and autograph signings and meeting with the public and handshaking and all that stuff. I didn't kiss any babies, not a politician, but and what I would hear most of all from people, first of all, they'd say, oh, you're so lucky that you have talent. I would just want to slap them. Like, dude, I have no talent. Okay. I just worked my butt off. But the other thing I would hear a lot was, man, I used to play. I loved it so much. I wish I didn't quit. There was never anyone that I met that was like, oh, yeah, man, I used to play piano and I quit. It's the best decision I ever made. Everybody laments stopping, right? And so the thing is, if you could get yourself a little momentum, sit in your practice space and at least just play your instrument every day. Look, that's better than nothing. If you're not doing anything, if you're not playing, if you're blowing it off, a little bit's better than nothing. Now, if you're going into your practice room and you're just noodling and goofing around, playing the same song that you have for the last 30 years, right? Okay, let's take that up a notch, And so I'm getting a little off topic because I'm not really here to tell you how to switch noodling with you know, thinking about goals, setting up topics to work on, and having a practice log to write all the stuff down. That's all in the masterclass too, by the way. But I'm really more talking about that spark that can get you off the couch and into the practice room. Now, let's talk a little bit about scheduling time. It's another unit in the masterclass called Scheduling Your Time. And what I have my Practice Warrior members do is I have them at the beginning of the week. So like on Sunday night, they have a practice log we give them. And at the beginning of each week is like a little blank schedule of all the hours in the day. I think it starts at 6 a.m. and goes till midnight, Monday through Sunday. And I say, okay, write in all the times you can practice, right? I call these the immovables. And so they write down, okay, here's 9 hours in the day where I'm working. And then I take a karate class on Thursday nights and I do, basket weaving on Saturday mornings. And I don't want to, and so they write in their immovables, right? And then I say, well, start to think about your movables. Think about the things that you can move around during the week to give you a little bit more space to practice. And then I have them identify their wastables. What are the things you do during the day that is wasting time that you could probably be doing something more productive, like playing music? And then I have them write in the specific day and time that, oh, thanks, Felicia. Write down the same day, like a specific day and time that they will practice. And I have them stick with it. Now, this is where the psychology comes in, right? Because if you go, I'm looking at my schedule, I got to practice my music, it's one more thing, then you won't do it. You'll be glad to push that off and move that around. But if you schedule it and you go, okay, I get to play. This is my reward. I want to play my instrument. I want to get better on my instrument. I may not have the discipline to practice yet, but this is a desire of mine. So how do we turn desire into drive? First of all, we just put one foot in front of the other and get started off the couch onto the chair. So if you have that mentality, you look at the schedule, and let's say you come home from work and you go, okay, I've dedicated 30 minutes to practicing. You just start with that mindset. Yes, I get to play. I get to play. I love playing. I want to do this. Now, you know darn well that you're going to have to work on some stuff, but we're just switching the language and letting the language work for us. So now we're using powerful positive associations that we have with playing and getting rid of negative associations because we're not using the word that gives us those associations. Now, this might seem like silly and psychobabble and sort of self-help guru sort of weird things. And I guess part of it maybe is, but it works. That's why people do this, you know. That's why, you know, people like LeBron James have coaches. Who's going to teach LeBron James to play basketball? Nobody, you know. But you need motivation. You need someone pushing you. You need something to drive you to get to the next level. Someone sort of standing over you, going, "Do it, do it, do it." And if you have a private teacher, which I highly recommend you get, then you've got that person. If you're a member of Practice Warriors, you have a whole community of people cheering you on. But if you don't, then we gotta kind of like hide little coaches in our brains somewhere in our consciousness or even our unconsciousness. So changing language helps. I have to practice today. Ugh. I get to play my instrument today. Yeah. When am I doing that? Sweet. Now, I'm also going to contradict something that I talk about all the time. I always say, one, don't play things you're good at when you're practicing. You could do that when you're done practicing for hours. You could practice for 30 minutes and then spend 5 hours noodling. I don't care as long as you're working on improving your skills. So I say that. And I also say that when you come up with your topics in Practice Warriors, we recommend working on 4 skills at one time. I always say for your 4th skill, the 4th thing you work on, make it something fun. Make it something fun. So don't do the fun thing in the beginning, because what will happen is you're practicing for half an hour and you spend 29 minutes doing the fun thing. And then go, oh, shoot, I was supposed to work on reading, or I was supposed to work on my etude, or I had to run these scales, the non-sexy stuff. And you're like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And you never do it. I'm giving you permission now. First of all, try to come up with your 4 topics. Keep the fun one for last. But you could spend the first 3 minutes of your practice ritual having fun. Play something you've played a million times. Just get into the feel, warm it up. We have a whole warm-up ritual too, by the way, that we teach you, because you want to warm up your body for the rigors of playing. But once you're done warming up, spend a couple minutes playing that song you've played for 30 years, jamming on YouTube, doing whatever. Put a little timer there. Give yourself 3 minutes to noodle. Now you have played. So there's another psychological connection. You're sitting on the couch, you go, maybe you're at work, whatever. You go, I get to play today. This is my time to play. And you go in and you reward yourself by playing. Yay, isn't this fun? And then your little 3-minute timer goes off and you go, all right, I'm here now. Let me work on the things I know I need to work on, even if they're not sexy. It's the equivalent of getting in the car and going to the gym. Once you get in the car and you go in the gym, you're going to work out. Once you get your butt into your practice space and you have your instrument in your hand, you're playing a little bit, now you'll practice. It just takes a little switch, and all of a sudden you go, all right, I've noodled long enough here. Here's my practice log. What was I working on? Oh, yeah, I was running this stupid scale. What are we doing here? And so now you're going to run your stupid scale, and you're going to get better at it. So does that make sense? That makes sense? Try it. Try it for a week. Try it for a week. Just don't say you're going to practice. Say, I get to practice. Write it down somewhere. Put it on a sticky. Put it on your bathroom window and your bathroom mirror. And I hope you don't have windows in your bathroom. But put it on your mirror and just say, look, yes, it makes sense. Absolutely it does. You put it there and it just reminds you, make sure you play today. In fact, don't even say that because that sounds committal. You get to play today. Make the time. There you go. Right? I suggest scheduling the time for the whole week, but yeah, you can do it day to day too. Sometimes the days change. You don't have to practice at the same time each day also. That's kind of a cool thing. You don't have to do it. Oh, I'm going to give you one more practice hack. This is a big part of scheduling your time. And one of the great strategies to the greatest excuse people have with not practicing: I don't have time. It's the biggest load of crap ever. You do have the time, you're just using that time to do something else. Okay? So, what I teach in our scheduling your time unit in the masterclass is this hack of anchoring to an existing daily ritual. I don't call practice routine, by the way. I got to practice routine. No, I don't like the word practice, and I hate the word routine. How's your love life? It's routine. How's your job? That's routine. It's not very exciting, right? But if you have a ritual, ooh, I love language, my friends. I love using language and associations to drive me to do things that normal people would just quit and not do. And so, anchoring to an existing daily ritual. So, what that means is there are things that you do every single day, right? What are they? Well, you wake up, right? And you put on clothes. Well, hopefully, right? You brush your teeth, you eat breakfast, you go to work, you take lunch, you go back to work, you come home from work, you do whatever you do when you get home from work, and you have dinner, and you brush your teeth, and then you get ready for bed, and then you go to bed. So there's a lot of like daily rituals, little things you do during the day. If you anchor your practicing time to them, then when you do those daily things, practicing becomes anchored to it. So what do I mean? So you eat dinner every night. What I would suggest, if you're having trouble sticking to practicing, is say, I am now going to practice my whatever after dinner. Okay, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. It doesn't matter what time it is. It doesn't have to be a time. It's just when I'm done with dinner, right? I'm not even going to do the dishes. I'm just going to leave them there, Uh, and I'm going to go and I'm going to play my instrument for half an hour. And that's it. So all of a sudden, eating dinner and practicing become anchored. And psychologically, you think of it. I eat dinner, I practice. I eat dinner, I practice. So they become one and the same. And all of a sudden, if you don't practice after eating dinner, then you almost feel weird. After like, 2 or 3 weeks of doing this, you'll get weirded out. Like, my day feels incomplete. That's the place you want to be, because now practicing because something becomes something that fulfills you and something that completes your day. And if you don't do it, there's going to be part of you that feels a bit weird. Does that make sense? It's all these kind of strategies and all these kind of things that really help people stay driven to practice. For me, it was easy. I made this determination when I was in my mid-20s that I was going to be a professional musician, and not just that, I was going to go to LA and I was going to go up against the big boys, the best musicians in the world. So there was a lot to drive me to practice. There was a lot driving me because this wasn't just a fun thing for me. This was how I was going to make my living, put a roof over my head, feed myself and my family. So there was a lot at stake. For most of you, you're not going to have that drive. You're not going to have that challenge. Oh, and by the way, even though I had all that drive, even though I had all those things to propel me to practice, there was still a lot of time I didn't want to practice and a lot of time I slacked off. So I created these practice strategies. I also stole a lot of practice strategies from my fellow musicians who were having success and seemed to be really invigorated by their musical self-improvement. And I would interview them and talk to them. What are you doing? I struggle so much with some of these mindsets. And so I just creatively acquired all of these strategies that ended up becoming a big part of our Practice Warriors experience. And that's why on the Practice Warriors membership site, I interview a lot of these same people who I learned all this stuff from, and pretty famous musicians. And all we talk about is their musical development and their strategies for practice. So that's all part of the Practice Warriors membership site. So that's what I want you to try today. I want you to try to replace the word practice. Stop saying, I have to practice today, and replace it with the phrase, I get to play today. I get to play my guitar today. I get to play my drums today. Isn't that cool? And what that'll do is that'll get you inspired to put it in your schedule and stick with it. And if you do this, if you fake yourself out for, 2, 3, hopefully 4 weeks, and you anchor that practicing to a daily ritual, you will find that you will feel weird if you don't sit down with your instrument. And that's where you want to be, because that now gives you a fully entrenched habit, right? I think it works great. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Throw them up there. And if you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and leave comments and questions too. I will answer them after the fact. Now, let me explain to you the 3 free practice tools you guys can get if you check out the links below before midnight tonight. And thank you for sticking around and watching this. I do hope this was a benefit to you. I absolutely love putting together Practice Warriors. This, touring the world was great. Teaching people has been great. But I got to tell you, this to me is this is what my life has brought me to. Getting people excited about the learning process and getting over their negative associations and all this baggage that they've had, and to inspire them to go, look, you can be as good of a musician as you want to be. I'll prove it to you. And so that's what we do with Practice Warriors. So the 3 free bonus things. Number 1 is, and you'll get this one once you sign up with the bonus items, you'll get this delivered immediately in your inbox. A link to an 18-minute video class called the 3 Ps of musical improvement, or maybe we call it the 3 Ps of music mastery. There's no mastering anything, but I like calling it that. Yeah, and we talk about the 3 P words. Practice is one of them, right? And how those 3 P words, by understanding them, by keeping them in the forefront of your mind, will keep you from quitting and keep you on a lifelong path to achieving all of your musical goals. If you know these 3 P words and really, really use them as your philosophy of not just musical self-improvement, but your life self-improvement, you will continue. I almost said one of the words. You will continue while all the other folks quit and give up and don't become their best selves and have regret. Okay, so that's an 18-minute video lesson delivered directly to your inbox. What will also come in the same email to your inbox, a video link to a 28-minute lesson, which I call Speed Builder. And it's basically teaching you how you can play anything you want as fast as you want it. That sounds like, it's like a gimmick. There's no way you can do it. Oh, yeah, there is. There's a method. And I show you over almost 30 minutes. I actually play the piano and I teach myself a new lick, a new melody. And I show you in real time the exact steps. I think it's like 8 to 10 steps of how I play something and I can do it as quick as I want. The third thing is a 15 myths of learning music. It's a PDF book and I love it. So you get those 3 free things by clicking on the link and getting a 14-day free trial to Practice Warriors. And what is Practice Warriors? It's a membership site. It only costs $19.99 a month. And basically you get our 14-unit masterclass, hundreds of musicianship video lessons where I teach you fun, cool, and effective ways to practice scales, soloing, modes, chords and arpeggios, rhythm and timing, dynamics and articulations, a whole bunch of practice tips, hints, and suggestions. And they're incredible. You also get the Rockstar Q&A interviews I talked about earlier, and a community forum and live Q&As monthly where we do serious deep dives. All of that is in the link. Check it out. If you sign up for Practice Warriors with a 14-day trial and you go, it's not for me, on day 13, just cancel your membership. We don't charge you anything, and you get to keep your 3 free bonus items. Cool? Yeah, that's my gift to you for checking this out today. And also, don't forget, I put a link in to my private coaching. I'm accepting students again until midnight tonight, Friday, February 28th. Yeah. All right. No questions. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. Thank you so much for checking this out. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Check us out on our social media, Practice Warriors, Facebook, Practice Warriors, Instagram, and check out practicewarriors.com. Even if you just go to the site, I'll give you a free tips book just for checking it out. It'll pop up there. Put in your information. Cool. Thanks, guys, so much. I love talking with you. Thanks for the comments, and we'll talk to you soon. Hey, let me know if you want me to keep doing this. We got one more scheduled next week, and then we're going to assess whether or not people were digging this, whether or not it was serving people, whether or not people got benefit out of it. I love looking at myself in the monitor. Totes adorb. But if you guys aren't getting benefit, then I'll do something else. I'll create some more content. Okay? It's all for you guys. Thanks so much. Have a great week. See you next Friday.